Oh, that's real good.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel Penny Lesson. We talk about everything finance, from tips on making money and proper investing to news about the different economies and situations affecting the global markets. The goal of this channel is not only to teach you how to be more financially responsible but also to teach you how to be more aware of global events. So why not just sit back and relax while we tell you what's happening in the finance sphere? Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be constantly updated on my latest videos. Remember, one penny lesson a day keeps being penny less away. Hailed as the greatest investor, Warren Buffett himself shares a story for us to always keep in mind when playing the game of investing. Want to learn more about it? Well, I sure wouldn't want to miss out on his words. Come and join me as we listen to his important message for starting investors out there. The 20 largest firms in the world by stock market value were listed by Buffett on March 31st. Apple came in first place with a value of just over $2 trillion, while the 20th name was valued at $330 billion. Many of these brands will be recognizable to you. These are the top 20 corporations in the world according to market value as of March 31st. He wants you to have a look at that list. The first is Apple. Saudi Aramco is a somewhat specialized firm. In terms of that business, it is effectively a corporation that is for sale. However, we are unsure if the government owns 95% of it. 5 of the world's top 6 most valuable firms are located in the United States. Consider that we had around 3.9 million individuals, or 0.5% of the world's population, in 1790. Of them, 600,000 were slaves. Ireland had a larger population than the U.S. Russians outnumbered Americans by a factor of 5. There were twice as many people in Ukraine as there were in the U.S. We had a roadmap for the future, an aspirational roadmap that, 232 years later, still has 5 of the top 6 global corporations in it. Is not a coincidence or result of our superior intelligence, strength, or any other factor. We had wonderful soil and a moderate climate, but some of those other nations that were mentioned also had similar qualities, and the system has worked incredibly well. Just try to picture a country that had 0.5% of the population just a few hundred years ago becoming home to 5 of the top 6 businesses in the world. After taking a closer look at that list, how many of the firms on it do you think will still be in business in 30 years? Today or tomorrow? It might not even be all 20. What do you suppose? Look at the top 20 from 1989. 2 things should catch your attention if you look at the top 20 from 1989. The 20 firms from 30 years ago are not represented on the current list. 6 U.S. corporations were on the list at the time, and you are probably aware of their names. Exxon, IBM Corp., General Electric, and more companies are still in operation. No one was still on the list 30 years later. It serves as a reminder of the amazing things that may occur. Since Japan had this fantastic bull market for a very long time, several Japanese businesses were included on the list. There isn't one right now. The U.S. had 6, and now we have 13. However, they are not the same. As you review this list, I'd want to ask you to consider something else. In 1989, we weren't just learning about capitalism or anything else. It wasn't the Middle Ages. People believed they were knowledgeable about the stock market and that the efficient market hypothesis was true. It wasn't a retro period. If you take a look, the leading business at that time had a market worth of about $100 billion. Over a period of 30 years, the largest firm in the world increased from $100 billion to $2 trillion. The number 20 has increased from $34 billion to around 10 times that amount. It reveals something about the state of equality, a contentious issue in the United States. It provides some insight into inflation, but this was not a very inflationary time. Yet it shows you how well capitalism has performed, particularly for capitalists. It's a very incredible number. Do you believe it might happen again right now? That in 30 years, you could multiply any firm by $2 trillion for Apple and get 30 times that for the leader. It could be impossible. In 1989, as now, we had the same level of confidence in Wall Street, investors, and ourselves. Nonetheless, things might alter. When you start to feel too confident in yourself, consider another example. It demonstrates, incidentally, that it's a strong case for index funds wherein the key thing to accomplish is to be aboard the ship. You used to be able to predict which one they would inevitably choose, but if you just had a varied bunch of equities, you couldn't help but succeed. Over a 30-year period, Buffett would prefer to own U.S. equities. Although equities were unquestionably the best investment, Buffett claimed he could tell you if you believed you knew a lot about which ones to choose or that your broker had all these ideas that their finest ideas in 1989 did not do that well. Second, individuals are incredibly drawn to different industries. They believe that if you are aware that a firm is in the well-known XYZ industry, you may sell SPACs and IPOs. People ignore revenue and profit figures. It's just the place to be. In 1903, Berkshire Hathaway was the place to be. The Ford Motor Company was founded by Henry Ford. Although he had previously failed, he was going to revolutionize the world. When you consider everything, our vehicle insurance provider is excellent. Without automobiles, we wouldn't have Geico, which changed the nation. The $5 daily salary was introduced by Henry Ford, and that was a big deal. Assembly lines, and the introduction of the automobile. Let's just suppose you had a glimpse of 1903. 290 million automobiles are on the road in the United States, covering every interstate. You think, well, this is relatively easy. It's going to be automobiles. It's going to be autos. Knowing everything about it. Marmon is a corporation owned by Buffett. In addition, it was the business that created the rearview mirror. The rearview mirror was created when, during the Indianapolis 500, the person who typically sat next to the driver and looked back to see what the others were doing was ill. Buffett wanted to post the list of vehicle firms over the years when he chose to look at history. He had intended to post only the ones beginning with the letter M, but when he got to the M's, it continued. So he chose to list the firms that began with Ma, and there were over 40 of them, including Marmon, which operated for a considerable amount of time. In the 1930s, it sold several really unique vehicles. At least 2,000 businesses entered the car industry since it was obvious that it had such a bright future. 3 remained in 2009, but 2 of them filed for bankruptcy. So buying stocks involves much more than just predicting which industry will be prosperous in the future. There were automobiles produced by the Maytag Company, Allstate, DuPont, and even the Nebraska Motor Company. Every one formed their own auto firms. In the same way, everyone is starting something new today that may allow you to receive funding from others. However, not many people were given a chance. Well, there we go. Warren Buffett's message to us investors about investing in the market. What do you think? Do you have similar stories to share? Do you have thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments below, and maybe we can feature it in the next video. Wow, was that news? Why not ponder it? Want to know the latest? Comment if you want more articles like this. This video is just one of many videos on my channel that brings you the latest news about the world of global finance and economics. So go hit that subscribe button if you don't miss out on content like these. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Thank you for all your support, and I'll see you again next time. Remember, 1 penny lesson a day keeps being penny less away. Cheers.